Hello everyone, welcome back to Tech Coaching Academy, and here in this academy we share with you how you can massively achieve your goal and of course your personal development in overall. So today we'll be looking at the what, why and how. What are red flags? Then secondly we talk about why do we neglect red flags, and then we call it a wrap for this episode on how do we handle red flags. And my name is Tosin Akiyemi, and with me on this talk show is Pastor Mrs. Rema Chukudima. It's my humble pleasure to have this session with you. Thank you very much for honoring us.
Thank you.
So today I'm trusting she's going to take us on an elaborate journey on what red flag is actually all about. So can we have you, ma'am?
Okay, thank you so much. Red flags are signs indicating toxic, unhealthy behavior. That is any sign that is indicating any toxic or unhealthy behavior.
Okay.
It does not matter what it is. It can be narcissism, it can be aggression, it can be controlling behavior, it can be abusive behavior, it can even be love bombing, it can be toxic family connections and lots more. Some people, they lie a lot, that 90% of whatever they tell you is lies. So when you see somebody that is always lying about everything, it's a red flag also. So it depends on who and where. So red flags are those toxic and unhealthy behaviors.
Okay, ma'am, let's try to streamline it. When you talk about red flag, you mentioned toxic. So does it mean that if I am in a relationship now and I spot a toxic behavior, say maybe manner of approach or the way she relates with other people, does it mean that there are some things that are not actually red flag?
Yeah.
Or what is actually that red flag?
Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah.
You know, when I say toxic, so anything that will make your relationship with someone toxic is a red flag.
Oh.
Or anything that will make your relationship with anyone unhealthy, it will affect your mental health negatively, or your physical health, or your security, or whatever, is a red flag. Now, I love that question because I personally like differentiating bad behavior from lack of skill. What do I mean? But behavior stems from your personality, your value, and your experiences. That's your behavior. And you can be a narcissist, you can be aggressive and all that. That's a behavior. But when you talk about lack of skill, skills can be acquired through the knowledge, training, and experience. So when somebody does not know how to cook, it's a lack of skill. When somebody does not know how to clean, it's a lack of skill. When you don't know how to listen, it's a lack of skill. So for me, there's a difference between bad behavior and lack of skill. Now it is easier to change or to work on lack of skill than behaviors. You see, so when it is something that is basically on behavior, bad behavior, I see it as toxic. Because if it is just based on lack of skill, that person can, if the person is interested,
you can grow, you can work.
Yes, you can work.
Okay.
So anything that will make the relationship toxic or unhealthy is a red flag.
Then the next question I'm going to ask is, why do people neglect red flags? Okay. Why do they neglect it?
There are so many reasons people neglect red flags. I want to start by talking about low self-esteem. Low self-esteem, as you know, is looking down on yourself, not feeling that you are up to. So when people have low self-esteem, especially the ladies and even the guys, they'll feel this person is not worthy of having me. So no matter how this person is treating them, they'll receive it because they don't even see themselves worthy of being in that particular relationship. And funny enough, somehow low self-esteem has been normalized by the society somehow. I see people, or I see especially where you see a man propose to a lady, then this lady in question may be very beautiful, have beautiful character, and have a beautiful career. And you see a lot of people go into the comment section and be congratulating the lady, and leaving the guy. kind of showing that the lady is lucky for being, engaged or getting married, leaving the boy. Now, the boy in question, nobody is a nobody, but in quote, this boy may be a nobody.
Yeah.
That can be somebody tomorrow. Yet people don't see it as that guy is lucky, having this beautiful, intelligent, and well-behaved girl. So you see that the society is actually normalizing this low self-esteem. So when there is low self-esteem, you will see that if there's toxicity or red flags in that relationship, the lady tends to ignore it because she feels that I'm blessed, I'm lucky to be married, I'm lucky to be engaged to this person. So that's one of it. Now I want us to also look at people. Some people are wired to accept red flags because of trauma, past trauma.
That's powerful.
You see, a child that grew up with a parent that is toxic. Maybe you watch your father beating your mother severally. They may tend to think that that is how it is done.
It's a normal thing.
It's a normal thing. So they are now wired to accept it. So if they start seeing it in their own relationship, the tendency for them to accept it is there. They will neglect it. So it's another thing. Then you look at also this desperation to marry. When a lady or a guy is desperate to marry, because let me not put it one side then, it happens to the guys, it happens to the ladies. When someone is desperate to marry, sometimes you neglect the red flags because your aim, your objective, your goal is to get married. So it does not matter the red flags that are showing, you continue to go ahead, plunge yourself into it. Then another one is when dysfunctional behaviors are normalized through nurture. There are some things we do that through nurture we normalize dysfunctional behaviors. For instance, I've seen a woman that when her son does anything bad, he will tell the guy to undress, the little boy to undress, to be naked. Do you understand? It's no matter it's abusive. Some of those things, or you say you want to put pepper inside the person's bumbo. Some of those things are not good, but through nurture. Now, this is a little child, and they are growing with it, seeing it happen to them, and they will feel that character or that behavior is a normal thing. Then the issue of older siblings bullying the younger siblings is, I see it as a very wrong thing for you to allow your older child to bully or a kind of correct or punish. Let me use punish the younger one. It's not, because an older child can correct. Okay, don't do this, mommy will not like it, daddy will not like it, if you do it I will report you to mommy. It's okay. But to go ahead and be beaten is a no. Do you know that is why, you may believe it or not, that is why you see this kind of people, they will grow up and believe that if anybody does not go according to my instruction, that person will be beaten. So whether it is in the workplace, whether it is in the family, or in a relationship, so if you go against my wish, I beat you. So because these dysfunctional behaviors have been normalized through nurture. So that is it. Now, another thing is some people, the emotions, they cloud their sense of judgment. That's another point. When your emotions, you give excuses for the person, and one thing I discover is that anything you reinforce, you continue to get it. So when you are making excuses for a bad behavior of somebody or even for your own, you are not giving room for change. So when people are, their sense of judgment is clouded by emotions, you see the neglecting red flags. There's another one. Is it this mindset that I'm going to change him or I'm going to change her? It's a very funny one, because when you talk about change, I personally believe that people don't change except they want to change. I want to say something that may look like is blasphemy, but I want to say it. Even God cannot change a man that does not want to change.
Please, can you come again? That's powerful.
See, we are free moral agents. Okay. God cannot change a man that does not want to change. God did not create us like something he used robots,
remote.
No, we are free moral agents. That is why even in the Bible you see something like, I have placed life and death, and I'm begging you to choose. He should have told you, see, this is the one you will choose. But God does not work like that. That is why even in giving his son, he still wants you to make that choice of receiving. So you have to receive, and then he will now come in to help you do other things. So if God cannot change a man without the will of that man, because we have will. Now you as a human being, you think you can change me. You can't change me except if I, number one, acknowledge that I need change. Number two, I make a commitment to myself and maybe to you that I will change. And then I consistently take steps that will bring change. Do you understand it? So apart from this, there's nothing like I will change him or I will change her. So most times people neglect red flags because they believe I will change him, I will change her. Then another thing is that some people look at the physical things they are going to gain in a relationship. If I get married to this person, I'm getting married to a big family. I'll have big cars, big houses, all those physical things. They are looking at it and neglecting the red flags. Meanwhile, when they get there, the toxicity of the relationship will not even allow them to enjoy those things they were looking at. I see red flags. We will come to that, how to handle red flags. Maybe I communicate it to you and you are willing to change. There's no problem about it. You see, because I said you can't change somebody does not mean that you cannot influence change.
That's the point. That's the point.
Do you understand? You can influence change, but you cannot change somebody. So that is it.
That influence part settles it. Thank you very much, Ma. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for sticking through on today's episode. In our next episode, we're going to take you on a journey on how we handle red flags, then signs that you are in a toxic relationship, and lastly, what is going to happen when you neglect red flags. Okay, so this will be all for today. Remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't done that, if you're not a subscriber, and click on the notification bell to get notified anytime we drop the next episode. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep away from toxic relationship.